Hello and welcome to the Strategic Bookkeeper podcast, which this time around is on video. And so I am going to do my intro right now, which I normally do actually after the podcast because it's always insightful for me. However, to keep this kind of flowing, let's get stuck in. So what I'll tell you about what we're about to do. So Karen Andrews, one of our tribe members, who we had on our podcast recently. I haven't got the episode up right now, but I think it was about number 82, around there, where you can hear from Karen. She's coming on today to help the bookkeeping community globally to understand why she uses the Dext suite. Karen is one of the Dext suite of software beta testers, and she mentioned this to me recently. She also mentioned that she was using Dext Precision a little bit more, like in a different way. We use the Dext suite extensively in my bookkeeping practice, and it's one of the softwares that we absolutely couldn't do without. So without it, our costs would go up, our efficiency would go down, my peace of mind would not be as great, and we'd have to do, we just have to do so much more. We would need more team, etc. Okay. So basically, there is nothing like hearing from bookkeepers in practice about software that we're using. And that's why we wanted to jump on today, have a bit of a chat about the Dext suite so that you can get more insights into whether you want to pick it up yourself, or even if you've got it, but you feel like you could be using it better, this might be helpful as well. Okay, so I'm Jeannie Savage, the strategic bookkeeper. I've been in practice for 14 years, but more importantly, 5 years in, I achieved a lifestyle practice. This means I scaled my business, could take my hands off the wheel, and draw a nice six-figure income while being time rich. And that's what I call my dream on my terms. I was recently awarded Women in Finance Innovator of the Year, recognizing my book, my podcast, my program, and my impact globally. The Strategic Bookkeeper is my life's work, and the opportunity to help bookkeepers globally achieve the income and lifestyle that sets them free absolutely fills my cup. Please do connect with me on socials at the Strategic Bookkeepers Way private Facebook group, or shoot me an email, hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you, Jeannie.
All right, so to get cracking, even though we heard from Karen recently, we're going to get her to refresh you by telling you who she is, how long she's been in practice, how many staff she's got, etc.
So I am relatively new to the bookkeeping field. No, that's probably not true. I have been doing my husband's books for a really long time. I used to have a career in medical research, and about 7 years ago, I changed careers. I started a bookkeeping practice, became a BAS agent, and I've grown the practice from there. And now we're a team of 10. We're a bookkeeping practice in Melbourne, and we're cloud-based, completely cloud-based. It was a little bit different coming in later, as in you can start with the new softwares straight away. I didn't really have any older processes that I had to transition from. So it's made it a bit easier in that sense. Yeah, love working in the field. I feel like I've finally found my calling.
I love it too. I love it so much. Actually, it's really interesting that you said that, because I started when we advertised in the paper and we had shoeboxes. Yes. I had this little office downstairs in my house, like a basement area, where actually it was great because all the tradies could come around the back, knock on the sliding door, come in or catch me in the pool, because the pool was right out there. And it was the shoebox quarterly work. I mean, what a capacity nightmare, right? Everybody drops everything off quarterly. It's why sometimes I still get, friends sometimes say, oh, you're a bookkeeper, you could do my books. I just want to give you a shoebox quarterly. And I'm like, no, thank you, right? But if I was starting all over again today, because I know bookkeepers often think I need to generate income to have software, and usually they try and do that with a broken business model, so they'll never have the profit for the software. But moral of the story is, if I was starting all over again today, I would, in this tech environment, I would start out with Dext Prepare, Dext Precision, and Ignition at least, as well as obviously your accounting software. Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets can do some of the things for you in the early days, like Do you need job management when you've only got one job? Probably not, right? But I would start out with those tools from the get-go, because I also think they just help you so much more than you can ever imagine. What about you? Would you do the same?
Exactly the
Yeah.
same thing. The first software that we implemented was Dext Prepare, called Receipt Bank then. From the get-go, I have insisted that every single client have it. Had a couple of clients that came to us with HubDoc and have moved them over, just said this is a non-negotiable for us. We're moving over. This is, and we do include it in our packages as well. It's built into the price that we charge.
Yeah.
And we've recently moved over to Precision as well. So, but I totally agree. A good proposal software, a good decision on what accounting packages you're going to support. It is easier to streamline that and not just pick all of them, like us, we're Xero only. And it makes growing a team easier because you only have one set of instructions when it comes to the accounting software. It's not, each one you do that, but Prepare and Precision, non-negotiable. And our clients that have moved over from HubDoc can't believe the difference and how much easier it is to use. And that's, it's a lot easier for us. HubDoc's very hard to use, a lot of double handling, a lot of extra clicks.
Yeah, lots of it. And you and I don't like extra clicks.
Nope.
Neither does Joe McMahon. My beautiful listeners, my beautiful watchers, success leaves clues. So I just want to give you a hot tip right now. And I did a podcast called Know Your Terms, Back Yourself, and Then Value the Heck Out of Your VIPs. Karen and I, who have achieved that income and lifestyle ultimately, we turn up like doctors who give orders and write prescriptions, and that's what your clients want. They want to know they've fallen into the hands of a professional that says, I know exactly what you need, and we're going to implement it. So just take a moment right now just to take that one in. If you need to go back and listen to this again, awesome. But success does leave clues. So let's look for the clues today. A quick word on how to work with me. You can join the waitlist for the Strategic Bookkeeper Transformation Program, which is a world-class, world first, described by members as mind-blowing, which typically pays for itself within a month and has a full money-back guarantee. Simply go to the strategicbookkeeper.global/waitlist. I also have a pricing academy with a calculator and my entire suite of productized services, plus other courses and resources on my website. Email me if you have any questions, okay? Okay, so the next thing I'd love to hear from you. I know for me, I was the first Aussie to ever pick up formerly known as Receipt Bank, which is kind of hilarious, right? I found out at the Port Douglas retreat. So so like you picked it up, it's compulsory. No problem if somebody doesn't want to use it, then I just don't do their bookkeeping and they just go elsewhere. And so I guess I'd love to know, to start with Dext Prepare, why did you pick it up?
We trialed a few different softwares. So when I first decided that I was going to leave medical research and get into bookkeeping, I actually got a job being a bookkeeper. And that's how I just wanted to make sure I liked it. So I did that and we trialed a few softwares there. Me being, formerly in the research, I'm very much like to do my research for everything that we implement, including software. We looked at quite a few different ones. We implemented 2 or 3. And as soon as we came across Receipt Bank, even then it was far superior to anything else. The supplier rules that you can set up, the auto publishing, it's just the quality of, does the reading of the data is superior. We have tried other softwares because when we pick up new clients, we often have to use the old software to transition to the new one. And I've still tried a few of the others as well. And I just don't find a comparison in the time saving and the ease of use and the interface, the way you look at it, it's very intuitive. I like that you said the interface, because for us and the client, right, like the app works across all tech and all of this, for you and I, you think back to when we didn't know what we know, to some extent you could hear this and think, really, does it not? We're in a tech age.
so many of them, they'll glitch on the Android platform, but they'll work on the Apple platform. The user experience is poor. And so I honestly believe, hand on heart, in terms of what Dext Prepare is built for, right? For us as bookkeepers with these small business clients, whether they look like medium, but you and I probably term them small business clients, using Dext Prepare for what it's for, I actually think it is the best, that nothing compares.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And we've had the same experience with HubDoc. A girlfriend of mine, another what I call dancing accountant, her firm uses exclusively HubDoc, and I never talked to her about it because that's not the realm that we are in together. But I always think, oh, you don't know what you don't know.
Time is money.
Time is money. We don't like those
Yeah.
keystrokes. All right. Dext Prepare, awesome. I think it'll always be my favorite little piece of software. My partner said recently, what is your favorite piece of software? And I went, I put my hand over, I'm like, Dext Prepare. I feel like I'll always call it Receipt Bank. And so on to Dext Precision. I know for us, we picked it up, it feels like yesterday, but it was pre-COVID. And I knew that we needed a tool like this. So it was on the radar for about a year to pick up one of these tools that assists you with practice management workflow. And also for me, it was the pick up one of the tools that also assisted with optics, right? So when you have a team of one or more, you have to manage that team. And it can be one of the things that becomes stressful, and one of the things that has you sit up bolt upright in the night thinking about risk and what could happen, etc. And I knew that these tools would really, to be honest, that was one of my main drivers. It was the peace of mind, sleep at night, and scaling. I thought, I don't want to scale in a business where I can't have easy optics and I can't be bothered logging into a whole lot of different things. So at the time we had a lady working with us, and I just made it her project. And I said, I want you to go and vet Dext Precision. I want you to try it. And I want you to tell me or confirm for me if this is right. And she came back and went, oh my goodness, like, oh my goodness. And we went full steam ahead, so much so they ended up doing a case study on what we did. And we've gone from strength to strength. Like, it's even surprised me, the efficiency gains. We went from a team of 8 and scaled way down from natural attrition to be able to sustain the same revenue using the tech. And Joe McMahon, I think she recently said, that's right, we were chatting, and even I was surprised again. She said, oh, when we were, changing things up, I didn't have to replace someone because of precision. And I'm like, whoa. So I guess that's my story. And so now you can probably relate to that. What made you pick up Dext Precision, and any comments that you've got?
I first picked it up when it was Xavier. Yes, it came across to Receipt Bank. It was Xavier and eventually was rebranded to Precision. The first thing I used it for was mainly their health check. I used to have a small subscription for 10 people, and I used to, when I was doing a quote and we were doing our health check on the file, I would put it through Precision now, and it would come out with all the things that, it was showing were areas of concern. And I would use that as the base of a health check that I used to provide to the clients. So I actually tested quite a few softwares at that time. I ended up going with another software, like great software, but no longer using that about 3 months ago when I saw Dexter's plans for bringing the ecosystem together and having, work on the clients. We used Dextension as well, which also gives you the health check in the Xero file. As you're in the Xero file, you can see that. And I've been on a bit of a kick of streamlining our software, the app stack that we use. And I think the leaps and bounds that Precision has come since we first use it has been quite significant. So it gives you the checks on every single thing that was really critical for us to be checking. Once we tested it, we started with 10. The team in particular really preferred it over the other solution. It was a lot cleaner. It's easy to use. It's also very intuitive. And it has saved us. This is, I think, the number one biggest time saver that we have ever implemented. Mainly because of the GST checks. That is something that we used to do somewhat manually.
Yeah.
But at the end of every quarter, we would, dump all of our information. We used a program called Airtable in there and made sure the supplier was registered for GST, and then their expense account was consistent. The GST was consistent. So that was a very manual check. So Dext Precision has the multi-coded contact check, and it has the ABN check. And once you've checked it, you can actually click on it. It links right into Xero. You can fix anything that you're worried about. You can recalculate it. And then if you've checked it, you can dismiss it. And no matter how many times you run that report again, it will come up as dismissed, and you can see that it's already been dealt with.
Oh, wow.
So you don't have to keep, going back and going, oh, did I check that? Did I check that? I don't know.
Right.
We do weekly, monthly, and quarterly checks in Precision. And some of the checks are the same. But if it's been checked previously in one of those other workflows, it still comes up and shows that it's been checked as a multi-coded contact. And it just comes under a different tab, which is dismissed. So it just saves, I can't even tell you. I think what was happening is our bookkeepers were doing a great job checking it manually. Our account managers would then go in and review the BAS, and they would be checking it probably the same amount that the bookkeepers were checking it. So we were double checking it, and there's no real guarantee that it's been done properly. It's a very manual check.
No real. That's what I mean. The bolt upright in the night, right?
Yes.
And especially we as bookkeepers are very work proud. And I think that's a part of it. Interesting. Jo McMahon has been talking about this GST check. So that was her latest thing as well. And I actually want to mention to everyone watching or listening that in the transformation program, so Jo McMahon heads up systems and team. If you join us inside the program, just so you understand in terms of Dext, with Precision, Dext actually works with our tribe to implement our workflows, okay? So the setup is assisted. Then you've got Jo McMahon there to support you in day-to-day. So she's constantly online and in the implementers, narrowly focused around all this. So for example, one of our tribe members who is newer to bookkeeping and was really struggling with tech overwhelm, I said to her, why aren't you using Jo? And she's like, oh, sometimes people are shy. And she said in 1 hour with Jo, she got done more around the tech than 15 hours on her own. And that was she was really upset. It was really hard for her because she was losing so much time, right? And then Dext Precision and a lot of other tech softwares, they keep getting better. Like you said, GST check, all these things where Jo will say, well, we're still scaling up with Precision. And so that has been amazing. If I'm thinking about the listeners and maybe the questions that they would have, if it was me, it would probably just be, well, cost benefit. I would say for Precision particularly, like definitely Prepare pays for itself easily. You know what I mean? Like it does the work of a human, then you've got without the human error. So you can basically be more efficient and provide a better customer experience. But with Precision, I would go as far as to say there's a 5 to 10x of what we're paying for that.
I totally agree. I just look at because we do the weekly checks, and that was always part of our workflow anyway. The BAS time now for us, it used to take, I would say, an hour for each, the bookkeeper and the account manager in checking. And now that takes, because it's already been done weekly and very minimal effort weekly, I might add, it saves about 2 hours per BAS. And we do a lot of BAS per quarter. So that's just the time on that, let alone the peace of mind and everything else that comes with it, because that's just one check. There's a lot of checks.
Yeah. And the integration with all the other softwares so that there's far less clicks, right? Way less keystrokes. And every button we don't hit is $1 saved almost, if we think of it that way. So yeah, I feel like we've covered everything today. So Karen Andrews, we might just drop links into your beautiful business so that just in case anyone wants to reach out and say hi, whether that's, I want to work with you, Karen, when you're recruiting next, or, where can I find you to power our industry stuff or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to Karen and to myself. Thank you so much for jumping on the video with me today.
Very welcome.
Okay, my friend, now it is time to take action. So, what are you going to do with what you learned today? The way I see it, you've got two options. You can go it alone to try and save some money, or you can back yourself and go for it and join my tribe. And let me tell you, we are knocking it out of the ballpark. That's not a sales pitch. That is me serving you, dare I say, courageously. To find success, I 100% know you need the mechanics, which is like the keys to the kingdom, but you also need to get your mindset right and be super productive. And these are all things I help you with inside the program. I could go on about this forever because I really want this for you. Have a prosperous week, and I'll see you in the next episode.